Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. A very lovely morning here in Chicagoland. And we start off as we always do.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Let's go. It is 6:04, 45 degrees, much colder than yesterday morning, but it's sunny out right now. And we'll give you a traffic update here in a couple seconds. Main thing to worry about, or at least, let's not worry about it. Let's just put it in our phone and put a reminder on it. 8 o'clock, Q101 Fest. That'll be your chance to get to the Boston Calling Music Festival. Full trip at the end of May coming up. We'll see our guys Fall Out Boy, Cage the Elephant, All Time Low, The Main, Sublime, Vampire Weekend, a whole bunch more. And just for qualifying for that at 8 o'clock, you get Riot Fest one-day passes. You get to pick between Blink-182 Friday, Weezer, and you just heard Jack White a couple songs ago. Jack White will be there as a kind of headliner situation on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you got Green Day. So you get to pick one of those days. Actually, maybe I misspoke. Is Jack White a co-headliner that White? He's big enough to be a headliner, but it's the only night that has in the poster the big letters of another artist, because the big headliners Blink, Weezer, Green Day. Jack White's on there for Saturday. I wonder if they got on a conference call and had, Weezer and Jack White on there, kind of going like, so tell us why you deserve the big letters on the poster to be part of a, quote, headliner status. I know headliners get more money, too. I don't know how Riot Mike divvies up all that cash,
Well, we should ask him about his personal finances next time we talk to him.
God, I'd love to. He'd probably say it, too. If we brought it up to him, he half the time doesn't realize he's on the air when Riot Mike's talking to us.
Yeah, that is true.
And just says stuff he probably shouldn't say on the air, which is awesome.
I keep sending them, though.
Yeah.
Have him do the announcement.
Every year I think, there's no way we're going to get Riot Mike again. He's like, I'll come on.
do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what, Brian? I would say to that, why don't you not complicate things until we hear otherwise? Jack White is a co-headliner. He's got his name in big lettering. I think that means headliner.
My theory is the original poster came out, right? Jack White's name wasn't big. They did like the 3 headliners.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jack White called and was like, I'm not going. And they had to redo the poster.
It was the opposite of a Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, it was the exact opposite. He was pissed off, and they had to put out another poster.
This is all just our curious conversation.
Of course. No, I'm sure Jack White was a lovely guy to deal with and being booked for Riot Fest, and he will be a co-headliner.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean he's not lovely just because he has expectations. It's fine. You're allowed to have expectations in life.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
See?
Jim in Lombard said, what the hell are you talking about? He texted in. Thank you, Jim, for checking in. And I appreciate everybody from Lombard worried about Riot Fest like I have. These are the curious conversations I have. Here's the poster. Green Day, Red on Friday.
Did you print off
Sunday.
the poster? What are you, 100?
Yeah, I like to look at it better. Well, the lettering in the bottom's so small, I need my readers to see. If I want to see the effigies, I got to go, oh, there they are.
Get it off a pole outside? What do you have a printed off poster for?
I'm framing this. I love posters. I love rock posters.
But it's not. It's a piece of paper. It's not really a glossy
Yeah, it's not a nice
poster.
poster.
Yeah, this one actually says on the top, it says from mail case low outlook. So it's when you
And
950.
what a waste in full color. You're just going to throw it away.
Oh yeah, I don't know if your office is like this, but our office has all these printers laying around, and we're the only one I think that prints anymore. Because I like to print out all the show plans, the preparations
God, you
for
print
the show.
out everything.
I
cannot believe you printed out that flyer. Like, I have to remember to talk about Riot Fest to print out the entire lineup.
The rainforest struggles are my fault. I understand that because no one's printing anymore. We have these like $20,000 big printers that are the size of like a furnace that are in here, and somebody's got to use them and justify that still ordering paper. So that's my job, and that's
I
just
asked
right.
if I could have one of the nice ones.
Yeah,
You asked if you could have a printer?
Yeah. They said no.
just to take it home.
Yeah, I wanted one.
Why do you want it if you don't like printing so much?
Because, when you have to print, we keep buying, just the normal at-home printers.
The dot
and
matrix printer.
They just always break.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know what, You know how they say, like, being a weather person is, like, the easiest job because you could be wrong? I think printers is the easiest thing to make because they can just be ass, and for some reason nobody cares.
Interesting theory.
Like, you're just like, oh, big surprise, my printer doesn't work. And I'm like, well, we just bought it. Like, we should ask more questions. This is weird.
I will say, believe it or not, there's a business out there. Somebody is actually making a living and can afford a house more than I can that refills ink cartridges. Like, not even buying new ones, but it's cheaper to refill them.
Okay.
But it's still expensive. It's not,
Yeah.
and so there's somebody, you could Google that and look it up. There's a business out there, we refill ink cartridges. Somebody thought of that. And now they have a house, probably in Highland Park on the lake.
Brian's been really focused on the whole house thing lately. Sorry, everyone. This is a personal struggle.
It's a big struggle trying to, anyway.
How'd you feel visiting my house the other day?
It's
Did it make you want a
beautiful.
house?
Good Lord, I almost squatted in there. Before you got home, I was going to lock the doors and change the locks and everything. So, like, you see those stories all the time on the South Side. There was that one where a woman owns a house and people came in and just kind of took it over and the police won't evict them because it has to go through the court system and could take 1 or 2 years. I figured I could live in Kenzie's house for a couple of years before they get me out of there.
Absolutely.
I give Brian 4 minutes of living with me before he just wants to leave.
Facts.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for fact, and in fact, multiple facts that make your brain go today. And this is outdated slang words that you still hear very often. We're going to go through this list coming up. And Kenzie, I'd just like to know off the top of your head, first thought, whether you use it or someone around you uses it, a slang word that you probably think is on this list that's outdated but is still used often by your squad, somebody in your squad, which is probably an outdated term. Squad.
Squad.
That's my squad, yo.
My dad uses really old words all the time, and my mom and I are just convinced that he's like a time traveler. He refers to like women and stuff, like at work. He'll be like, so there's this gal at work. And I'm like, who says that?
I love that word, gal.
Why are you saying gal?
Yeah.
I mean, he does it all the time. So I'll go with gal because it's my dad's number one oldie term.
And to be fair, your dad isn't that old. You know what I
No.
mean?
I don't know where he learned it, where he's like, this is normal. Like, this is a normal word that everyone's using.
I thought you were going to say, so this broad at work.
Broad, yeah.
But gal's like endearing. Broad is a little demeaning, but gal's, it's almost sweet.
Which is on track for my dad because he's super kind. He would try to use like a lot. Broad would have been his like in the vocabulary,
Yes.
for sure.
He'd never say, so this skank at work. He'd never say that either. He's too nice.
If he said it, she must be a real skank. Like, it's unavoidable.
Yeah, I like gal. I wish I was using gal. I don't use gal. I'm going to start using it now.
I know this gal at work. I'm like, what?
So we go home to Megan. So, Kenzie, know the gal I work with? I'm going to work that in today. I like it.
Yeah, instead of calling me a skank, like, you normally do it.
He leads off with gal and ends with that gal at work. She's a real skank.
So
Yeah.
later in the show, that slut, what she did was... All right, so we got gal from Kenzie. Case, what do you think? So it's a slang word that's still used often, but is outdated by society determining this in Chicago.
I heard you, Brian, use the term hepcat a few days ago. Is hepcat the word that you're...
What the hell is that? What's a hepcat?
I've got the dictionary definition is a stylish or fashionable person, especially in the sphere of jazz or popular music.
I thought it was slang for like a hepatitis like person.
Like a-
Hepatitis person.
Like a cat named Pookie that got hepatitis and spread it around Chicago.
Like she's dirty. She's like a hep cat. Like I thought it was like an old derogatory.
So that skank I work with, she's a hep cat. She's got hepatitis in the word, yeah. All right,
That
so
was perfect usage of what I thought it meant.
so after the Chili Peppers, guess at 312-591-8300, but we'll have the slang words that are outdated but still used.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, time for a fact. In this case, facts to make your brain go boom. And these are slang words that are still used very often but are, quote, outdated, judged by the internet and Chicago. So let's go down. There's a top 10 list here. And as I look at this list, There's only one that I don't use anymore. And I probably never was big on that one, so it's not something I put aside because it was dated. So of the top 10, 9 I still use that are outdated. Okay? Let's go through them.
9?
9 of them. I still use 9. You'll find out. You'll hear these.
Okay. Awesome.
Kenzie, by the way, said gal. Her dad uses, this gal at work. And later
Someone
on,
texted in and said, that may be racist. I go, what?
gal? If
Where
gal
did that come from?
if gal is racist, then I'm ending the show.
Careful. we might not know the origin of gal the way we think we do.
Can we look at that before we get through it first? Is there any...
I'm working on it right now.
Well, your dad's going to have a big surprise this morning when he gets a text saying, you've been calling that
I know
gal
my
at
dad's going
work.
to get fired.
Gal can't be racist.
I guess.
Don't please.
No. Let me put it this way. As the one that people turn to when it comes to the woke agenda, I can honestly say I don't know any racial undertones surrounding the word gal.
Doesn't mean they're not there, though.
Doesn't mean it's not there. And you know what? If it is and we're uneducated, we'll educate ourselves and go from there. But I don't know of any racial undertones with the word gal.
I don't want to live in a world where we can't use gal. I don't want to.
I'd pick another fight.
It's a hill I'm going to die on.
Okay.
Kenzie, you find anything yet, or before we move on?
I'm not really finding anything.
That's good.
Like this Reddit said, is the word gal offensive? And somebody said, it's not offensive to most people, but if you offend someone, apologize. Is that helpful?
Maybe they mean sexist, but I don't even think it's sexist. Hey, this gal.
No, again, it's not skank. Skank would be sexist.
Skank would, I don't know if that's even sexist. It's more just mean. But also, your behavior might make you a skank, so it might be appropriate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A very interesting wrinkle into that conversation.
All right, let's get to the top 10. We'll keep working on this. We have such a big team here working on this. But outdated slang words you still use often. Number 10 is, and I used this just the other day, now we're cooking with gas. That's one.
Oh, boy.
I use that one. Anybody
I like
else in the
that.
room use that one? Now we're cooking with gas ever?
No.
Don't say no to every one of these. Be honest.
Have you
It was
ever
the first one.
I know, but I have a feeling you're going to say no to all of them.
Well, maybe I don't use them. You want me to lie to make you feel better?
Yes. Let's do
Okay.
that.
I was gonna say, have you ever heard Kenzie say, "Now we're cooking with gas"?
I thought I did. There's a memory in my head that might come back
I
to her.
listen to Kenzie. I've never heard her say that.
Yeah, thank you.
Try saying it.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Now we are cooking with gas. We say it that way, of course. Now, number 9, I don't use and never have used. Outdated slang words you still use often. Okie dokie. I never use that.
Actually, I say that when I'm mad, usually. Like, if my husband really pisses me off with his text, or I'd be like, okie dokie. Like, it's basically, go F yourself.
You know, you've used that to me, by the way.
Yeah.
I do know that
Okie
tone.
dokie.
That tone I got. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 8, tight. Or tight. Or that's tight.
Tight?
Tight. That's tight. Meaning it's like, it's awesome. You know, like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's tight. No one on that one?
What's the
I
last
mean, I've
thing?
said that when my clothes are too tight.
Just came back from Portillo's. Tight. Right in here.
This is tight.
Yeah,
This is unfortunately tight.
I know I've used tight. I just haven't used it in a long time, I don't think.
Okay, I feel like I've heard you use it.
Really? Recently?
Yeah,
Okay.
like the new Shinedown song is tight or something.
I did say that about the Shinedown song. So, okay, that's on the list. Outdated slang words you still use often. And this one is kind of dumb on the list. Dude. Dude. Like, hey, dude. What's up, dude?
Oh, yeah, because you want to know what preteens and teenagers say? Bruh. It's Tristan to me all the time. Bruh.
He
I'm so
calls you,
thirsty, bruh. I'm like, what did I become bruh?
but he calls you bra?
Oh, yeah, bruh. Come on, bruh. I'm like, stop it. Don't call me that.
Hey, bra, when's dinner ready? Bra?
Hey, bruh. Hey, bruh. What's up, bruh?
That's awesome. All right. Case, I don't know if I heard Case ever use dude.
I'm not much of a slang guy.
Yeah, you're not.
So I speak proper English,
Oh, sure. The Queen's English.
if you will, madame.
Queen.
All right, so outdated slang words you still use often. Again, this one I use every day. Peace. I'm out. Goodbye. Peace.
You say that all the time.
Peace. Peace. You say that too, Gens. You say peace.
No, I don't.
I've heard you say, come on, bro. I've heard you say peace.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh. I know you say peace.
This is the top 5 now of outdated slang words you still use often. Sick. That's sick. I do Shinedown is sick.
I've only used these when I text it and take it and I'm sick. I'm not gonna be at the show.
Yeah, she used the proper Queen's English of sick.
Yeah, the Queen's.
Yeah, I use sick. Now we're in the top 4. I use this often by text. This is probably, of all these, it's the only one I use by text. When it's just like, I kind of want to end the text thread or I want to just tap out, word. Case will send all
That's
these.
one of your I'm not listening words.
Yes. Or I'm just done. I'm done.
Yeah.
Let's end this thread about whatever, word.
I ask you guys to do something via text, something important that needs to get done. I normally get back no response from Kenzie and then a word from Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, when I want to write, you just prefer me to not say anything. I go with the better.
I guess when I think about it, Kenzie's most used slang is silence. That is often what I receive.
Yeah, word. Top 3 now of outdated slang words still used often. Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
I like sweet. I still use that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep. Sweet. That's how if you really like something.
Do you surf? I mean, what is with your, on every word?
Honestly, when the top 3 here, you would think I am Spicoli from Fast Times, Ridgemont High, or I grew up in Santa Monica and I'm a surf bro. Because sweet, number 2 is stoked. I use that a lot still.
You
see,
do
that's-
use that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the word that I use. I like stoked.
Yeah, you have used stoked.
What can I say? I'm a bit of a surfer kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm laid back, hanging time.
Sure. When I think of you, I think of chill and laid back, and I'm stoked to hang out with you. And the number 1 outdated slang word you still use often, and again, I think I know I use this. I don't know if I've heard Case. I think I've heard Case use this one too. Gnarly. That's gnarly.
Gnarly is a great word.
Gnarly. And there you go, the top 10 outdated slang words you still use often. I want to make the argument, though, that these are better than the new slang words.
What are the new slang words?
Like Riz, like sauce,
Like what else?
What's a skidivy? What is it?
That's not how you say that.
Is it skibbity?
You made it sound like when pirates get
Like scurvy.
Scurvy. I do like flex. I do like that one.
Why do you like flex more than skibbity?
Because all I do is flex. Look at these guns, man. These dad guns. I'm flexing over here.
And he brags all the time. He likes the flex concept. He likes.
Yeah, flexing is good. There you go.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Well, the Cubs did something historic last night, and this is not one of those BS stats. This is a real good stat. This is amazing to show that as the Cubs, we approach May, it's no more, well, they're just April baseball games. I know it's not May yet, but still, it's not just April baseball games, even though this did happen in an April baseball game. And we'll talk about that coming up in about 5 minutes. Got a lot of requests yesterday to talk about Kenzie's birthday gift after she posted the video of the lone 1 balloon hanging from the package, which turned out to be a helium tank that I got Kenzie for her birthday. Mm-hmm. Used it yet?
No.
Any plans? Any plans anytime soon?
Probably my son's birthday.
Yeah, that's not too far away, right? A month away or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I can't wait to see the balloons it makes.
I think about how easy it's going to be because you don't have to go anywhere to fill the balloons. You're at home.
No, now I have to go somewhere, buy balloons, bring them home, use the helium tank.
Okay, but you've got the tank. This is like a work from home situation now. You're in the clear. This is going to be so easy.
And by the way, yesterday I did explain the greatest story of all time of how I had more balloons attached to it, 16 more balloons specifically, and they escaped when I was trying to get them in my car. We have that audio that people wanted to hear because we did this at 7:50. Now, this is a little bit of a 2-minute condensed version of the greatest story ever told from yesterday's show. And this is the point where I'm leaving Mariano's with 17 balloons in my hands on the windiest day in Chicago history.
And you're only doing this because you tried to surprise Kenzie with a gift in Mexico. It failed horrifically. If you haven't heard this story, it's on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. This was Brian's plan B. This was his emergency break glass in case of emergency scenario. And this is what happened at Mariano's.
So I go to the Mariano's. I get all the balloons. Yesterday, 80 degrees, really windy out. Do you remember? Yesterday? So I go to the parking lot, which Case goes to this Mariano's on Lawrence.
Oh, it's the one on Lawrence?
Yeah.
You know what? Great balloon section there.
Unbelievable balloon section there. And they have a parking garage that you go out on.
Hold on. I didn't know what happened.
So I'm carrying about 17 balloons out of Mariano's. The wind almost picks me up and blows me off with the balloons with the helium off of the parking structure.
The parking structure is not underground. It's like on the
It's
roof
up
of
top.
yeah,
It's like rooftop parking.
Yes.
Yeah, fun fact, it's one of the best views of the city in Chicago. You can go up there and hang out on the Mariano's parking deck, and the skyline view is incredible.
Fun facts.
So I get to my car, trying to wrangle these balloons. It's like I was trying to wrangle
They
snakes.
didn't put him in a balloon bag for you?
No, they put them all on a string because I said I'm going to tie it to this bag, which I had the helium tank in the car.
Okay.
So I'm almost floating away. I get to my car, try to open the door. The door opens, one balloon pops because it hits the door. And then I got scared, and the door came back and hit me, and all the balloons except one fly away with the wind. All of them. 16 balloons flew off. I bet someone saw them like it was some kind of signal that we're under attack, like the British are coming or something. And Kenzie, I ran to the edge. I almost jumped off the parking garage to get one last one that was the big one that said happy birthday. And I almost fell off the parking structure at Mariano's. And those balloons were at 10,000 feet within 3 seconds. It was so windy.
He took off like a Boeing.
It was unreal.
So much helium in it.
There probably was a plane crash at O'Hare because of these balloons.
Just for reference, I got a bag with one balloon tied to it.
A bag with one balloon is how it ended up for Kenzie. And, you know, looking back on that story, it feels like it happened 17 years ago.
Why is that?
I don't know, it was just 2 days ago. I think the PTSD came back hearing it. And it feels like you can't get PTSD right away. PTSD comes back like years later.
No, I think you can get it right away.
I don't know. I always felt like PTSD is something, I think of the Vietnam guys or something. And, they're in the Marianos, and all of a sudden they have this vision and things go awry.
Oh, they slept so well in Vietnam.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that happened so long ago. So, Kenzie, is the balloon still okay? The A balloon? The one balloon?
My son popped dead.
Oh.
Which he knows pisses me off. So I have a real thing with popping balloons, and he knows better.
Well, I'm glad at least you got upset about that situation. That the last balloon standing is gone.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.